Hi everybody, it's Brooke from Quagensia, and in this video I will show you how you can download this free point-and-click NinjaTrader strategy from our website at Quagensia.com and how you can build it completely without code using point-and-click in Quagensia N Edition. This point-and-click strategy is a moving average crossover strategy that goes long when a fast-moving average crosses above a slow-moving average and goes short when the fast-moving average crosses below the slow-moving average. If the strategy is currently long and the fast-moving average crosses below the slow-moving average, it will reverse its position from long to short by exiting the long position and entering a short position. If the strategy is currently short and the fast-moving average crosses above the slow-moving average, it will reverse its position from short to long by exiting the short position and entering a long position. The strategy also exits its long or short position when a profit target is reached if this strategy's use profit target input parameter is set to true due to its checkbox being checked in the NinjaTrader user interface. Let's get started. First, to follow along, click the link below this video to go to the strategy's webpage at the Quagensia.com website. It will look something like this. If you haven't already installed Quagensia N Edition, you can do so from this link. When you click this button, you can download Quagensia N Edition and install it on a Windows computer. When you do this, it will look something like this. Here's a start page with useful links. Here's the Algo Explorer with all your algos, including the free point-and-click strategies from Quagensia that you can use as is and customize without code, over 1900 functions which you can use in your strategies, and the My Algos folder, which is where you will create algos and where you will put algos such as this one that we'll download now. Back on the web page, let's go ahead and click the download link so we can download this strategy. It will scroll down the page and you can click on the download the zip file link. Go ahead and open the zip file, extract it, and now we have an extracted Quagensia N Edition strategy file. It's a QSNX file. Click on it, copy. Now go back to Quagensia N Edition, open the My Algos folder, like this, and paste the strategy, and then the application will ask you, do you want to reload the database? Just say yes, so the Algo Explorer can reload. It did. And there you have it. It's the moving average crossover long short reversal with profit target trading strategy. Let's go ahead and open it. And you can see here the strategy we created. It has some input parameters, which you can see here. It has an orange fast moving average and a blue slow moving average, which you can see here, the orange and blue moving averages. And then it has some trading logic, including drawing some background colors when certain things happen. And finally, it has a profit target if the input parameter called use profit target is set to true. All right, so first of all, let's go ahead and just generate the code for this strategy. But before you do this, make sure you've opened NinjaTrader. You've connected to the kinetic end of day free market data. You've opened the NinjaScript editor, which you can do from this link. You've opened the NinjaScript output window so you can see the output that this strategy prints out. And you've opened the strategy analyzer, which is the backtester in NinjaTrader, which is what we're looking at here. Now that NinjaTrader is set up properly, let's go back to Quagensia N Edition and generate this strategy's code. Before we do that, let's add a 2 to the end of the strategy name so that you can see that when I generate the strategy's code, it actually makes a new strategy in NinjaTrader. Let's also change the color of the fast moving average to red and the color of the slow moving average to aqua, so that you can see that our strategy is actually different than the one I was showing you a minute ago. So let's go ahead and generate its code by clicking the Generate Code and Copy Code File to NinjaTrader Strategy Code Folder button. And because the NinjaScript editor is open, we will hear the sound of success, like that. That means that the strategy has compiled and it's ready to be backtested and used in live trading. So now that we're here, you're going to see in the drop-down list there's one called Q Moving Average Cross LS Rev WP T2. We just made that. Click it, and let's go ahead and run the backtest. As you can see, it looks very similar, except the fast moving average is red and the slow moving average is aqua, like we thought. All right. So at this point, I've shown you how you can download this free point-and-click NinjaTrader strategy from our website, how you can open it in Quagensia N Edition, make a couple changes, and send it to NinjaTrader, from where you can backtest it. Now let's go ahead and build this strategy from scratch. To do this, I'm going to move this strategy that is fully built to the right of the main panel. And I'm going to go ahead and create a new strategy here. And let's just go ahead and hide the Algo Explorer so we have more space. So on the right side, we have the full built strategy. On the left side, we have an empty strategy. And now we're going to build everything from here over in here. So I'll copy and paste a few things just to save time. So the strategy name, we'll call it this 2. We'll call it this 3. And the name that will be in NinjaTrader will be here, and we'll call that one, it's a shorter name, we'll call it this 3. You can fill in the description later with your own description. Let's make sure its strategy details match what was from the website. So here we have, that's right, we're going to backtest on daily bars, on E-mini daily bars. So go ahead and uncheck the exit on session close checkbox. And I remember that that's all that I did as far as changes go. So down to the input parameters, we have to add these 4 input parameters over here. I'll go ahead and copy their names. So the first one is a whole number because it's the number of bars for the moving average. And it's going to be 8 by default. So the next one, 21. The use profit target checkbox is a Boolean input parameter, and we see it default to true, so I'll make it true. And then the profit target percent input parameter in NinjaTrader is a decimal number, and we'll default it to 0.1. Great. So at this point, we've made all the input parameters for our trading strategy. Let's go ahead and make the moving averages. For the fast moving average, we'll copy the name over into the internal variable section and add variable. And it is an indicator. It is a double exponential moving average. So let's find that one. There. And instead of using a hard-coded number 14 for the period of the moving average, let's go ahead and do it like we did here, where the period is an input parameter. So let's go ahead and choose our fast moving average period input parameter we added above. Let's go ahead and add the variable, and let's plot it. It's the fast line. Let's make it bright green with dots, and let's make it width of 3. All right, so for the slow moving average, you can see here it's also a double exponential moving average. So we'll do that. Before I select the double exponential moving average, I want to point out that there are over 120 indicators that you can pick from that are already built into Quagensia N Edition. But for now, we'll just pick this one. I should point out you can also get your custom indicators or your third-party indicators into Quagensia N Edition, but it's beyond the scope of this video. So let's go ahead and add the slow moving average. Plot it. And it's slow, so instead of bright green, let's make it dark green. Line width of 2. And that's it. So we've now added our input parameters and our moving averages. Let's go ahead and add the core logic in the when bar update section. Let's look at it first. So first off, you have the if the following is true, and it's if the current market position is not long and there's a fast moving average crossing above a slow moving average, you're going to enter long, or you're going to reverse from short to long. Otherwise, if the current market position is not short, in other words, it's flat or long, and you have a fast moving average crossing below a slow moving average, then you're going to go short. That includes going from flat to short or from long to short. Let's go ahead and build it. So since we have an if and then an otherwise if or else if, let's go ahead and just click on the add trading logic here and choose conditional trading logic. And let's do an if else if block. Now these aren't the only blocks you can use. When you add one of these, you can start adding else ifs as many as you want. You can add an else at the end. You can keep adding things, and you can even nest if else blocks inside of other if else blocks. But for now, we'll just use one of the default ones. So see, it's if else if. You can also go here and do another else if, and then another else if. You can add an else. But let's go ahead and just get rid of these and just use the default if else if. Great. Okay, so now for the first thing, I could copy and paste from here to here. By the way, you can copy and paste between strategies, but let's just build it from scratch like I said I would. So we want to have current market position. So how do you find that? Well, I know where it is, but if you don't know where it is, just type something like, I don't know, flat. Whoops. Take off an F. And here we have current market position, short, long, or flat for strategy. And we're going to go ahead and add this function to your algo at the location you specified, and it's inserted. And we're going to say if it is not equal to long, then we might go long. So now we're looking for a drop-down list of flat, long, and short. So that'd be a hard-coded value. And it's a select an item from a list of choices, and it's the trade direction selected from a list of choices. So let's go ahead and among long, short, and flat, let's choose long. So if the market position is not equal to long, and we have a crossover, so we'll say add condition after. So what I did is I clicked on the gear icon here and said add condition after all other conditions using and. And we'll choose a cross above. And let's choose the fast moving average, which is an internal variable that we created. And over here, let's choose the slow moving average. So now we have if the current market position is not long, so it's flat or short, and you have a fast moving average crossing above a slow moving average, let's go ahead and enter a long position or reverse from short to long. So for that, you'll click on this add trading logic link, submit an order, enter long, and let's choose enter long position using a market order. Now we also still have to set this background color if we have a long entry. So for that, since it's a background color, it's going to be under draw something. Colors, set background color of all chart panels. Let's make it orange. And then over here you can see if you go long, we also print to output window. So, and we also include the primary data series timestamp, so we know what bar the message in the output window was for. So for that, since it's an output, it's going to be under the output alerts and logging area. So then go to print to log output window, print to output window with primary data series timestamp. All right. And now it's going to say LE signal or long entry signal and then close price. Pasted it in. And then you see how we say that this phrase plus this? Well, the plus means this word, and then you add a suffix. You add this word to that word. So how would you do that? You'd click on this gear icon, click this piece of text plus a new piece of text. And let's go ahead and choose the close price of the current bar. How do you do that? Click on the gear icon, and it's close price, so it's under price data. Close. We did it. And this convert non-text to text just shows up automatically. It notices that close is a number, but you're trying to add it together with text. So now you have text plus text equals a longer piece of text. Well, that's it. That's the entire long entry logic. Let's go ahead and go down to this otherwise if the following condition is true block. And here we're looking to say if the current market position is not equal to short and the fast moving average crosses below a time series, the slow moving average, then we're going to go short. So let's do it. So we already have this here, up here. Let's just copy and paste this whole section, this whole expression. And now it's, instead of saying it's not equal to long, let's say if not equal to short, we might go short. And then say add condition after all other conditions using and. And we actually almost have it. We have it here. It's fast moving average crossed above. So let's go ahead and copy this. And change the cross above to cross below. Well, that's the condition. Now let's go ahead and if this happens, if this is true, let's go ahead and enter a short position. So for that, it's submit an order. Enter short position using a market order. Let's set a background color. I'll just show you copy and paste now. So you can copy and you can paste between strategies like I did here. But instead of pink, let's say if it's short, the background color is bright pink. And then for the print output window with primary data series timestamp, we already have that up here. So let's copy and paste from this strategy we just made and paste it down here. Paste. But instead of LE signal, long entry, let's call it short entry signal. That's it. So we just built the entire when bar updates logic for this reversal system. It's a moving average crossover system with a reversal. It goes from long to short or short to long, or from flat to long, or from flat to short. The last part of this strategy is the money management. So what we did here, and the one I built on the website, is if the following is true, if the input parameter called use profit target is equal to true, then set a profit target. Let's go ahead and do that. Also, I should point out this commenting code. Let's go ahead and add one of those so you can understand how you can add comments to your own strategies. So you can remember what you did, or you can share it with a colleague and he can see what you did and you can describe what you're doing. So in the money management section, let's go ahead and add a comment. So add trading logic, more actions, appearance, here, more actions, appearance only items. And there's two of them. One is commenting code, like that yellow blurb you just saw, and then one is a blank line. So for whatever reason you want to add blank lines between submit an order, right to the output window. You can click this blank line, but for now we'll click comment and code. So I'm going to go ahead and just copy this text from what I did on the website to this one we're building now. So now we have a comment in code that will show up not just visually in your Quagensia strategy, but it also will be in the code as well. If you need a developer to look at your code, he will see the comments as well right at this location. So since this is an if something is true, let's go ahead and add it over here. So conditional trading logic, it's just an if block. And what is if? It's if use profit target input parameter that we added earlier, if it's equal to true, then do something. Let's set a profit target if this is true. Since a profit target is money management, you'll find it under, you click on the add trading logic link and it's under money management. Profit targets, set profit target, yeah, sure, by entry signal name. Actually, no, let's do it for the entire position because one of our entry signals is long entry called LE, and one of our entry signals is SE. So we probably just want to have one called set profit target and not have to worry about the names of the long or short entry. Okay, so set profit target for entire position, like over here. Calculation mode is percent, but we could also choose things like currency, ticks, other things. For calculation value, instead of using a hard-coded 8%, let's actually use our input parameter from NinjaTrader so we can optimize on it. Profit target percent. All right, so we literally just built this entire strategy. So the thing that you downloaded from the website, this whole thing, is now built over here with a few colors different. Let's go ahead and generate the code for this strategy, and it will ask us to save it as well. So let's go ahead and here, I'm going to go ahead and move this over so you can see more. Okay, let's get the Algo Explorer back. I move the splitter bar to the right, so now you can see the Algo Explorer again. Here's the one from the website we downloaded and change a couple colors. This one that we just built hasn't been saved yet. So probably normally for you, you'd probably want to save it earlier than we did, but it's okay. So let's go ahead and generate the code. It's going to ask us to save the strategy. We called it something 3 here, so we'll just save it that way. Great. And what you see here, so here's the one from the website, and then down here, the one that has 3 on the end. Oh, and you just heard it compile. That was the sound of success. So here it has 3 on the end. That's what we just built just now. So you can go to the one from the website, which is actually over here, or you can go to the one that we just built. So, okay, so it already compiled. We heard it compile when I generated the code. But I actually just paused this video and reviewed my logic before I sent it to NinjaTrader. And I noticed I made a couple mistakes, and I apologize. So let's go ahead and fix those. So first of all, in the strategy details section, I said that the only change was exit on session close should be unchecked because of the daily system, but I forgot to add a little slippage in. So let's make slippage 1 tick. It's a E-mini. It's a pretty liquid market, so let's make slippage 1 tick. That was the first mistake. And then the second of 2 mistakes is I noticed that while on the fast moving average, I use the period as an input parameter, fast moving average period. For the slow moving average, I forgot to change the hard-coded period of 14 to the input parameter we had added. So let's go ahead and make the period of the slow moving average actually the input parameter called slow move average period. All right, so now that I've fixed my 2 mistakes, let's go ahead and regenerate the code and send it to NinjaTrader again. Listen for the sound of success. It compiled. So let's go ahead and run the backtest of this strategy. So we had called it WPT3, so click that. And we have a slippage of 1. That's good. All right, so let's go ahead and run the backtest. So remember that the one from the website was, we made it green and pink. So let's run it. a new one that we just built from scratch. Great. And we see the colors now are orange and hot pink. So definitely it's the strategy we just made. Let's take a look. So let's see here. First of all, I see that we have our indicators. They are lime green dots and the dark green slow moving average. We have a reversal system, so it goes from long, closes to long, short entry, goes from short to long, and so forth. And let's look for a profit target. Great. So here's a profit target. So it went from 3,700 to 40. Yeah. So it is a 10% profit target because here we had 10%. So it looks like everything's working. And we draw background colors on the signal bars when you have a long or short entry, all of that. Also, we could look in the Ninja script output window. So here it is. And here we can see that, remember the output, we wrote the timestamp of the bars and then LE signal and the close price from our strategy. So here we are writing to the output window, and that was here, I'll show you. That was this thing, print to output window, LE signal, print to output window, SE signal, and it includes the primary data series timestamp. So it's a great way to debug your strategy. So if you don't know what's going wrong, you can always print to the output window with the timestamp of the bar and then some message and some price, so you can kind of figure out what you were mistaken about. All right, so that's the output window. So let's go ahead and back in NinjaTrader, let's go ahead and change, since we made the slow and fast moving averages input parameters, let's go ahead and try 10 and 30 for the input parameters for the fast and slow moving averages. And let's make a profit target. Let's make it 0.5. And let's run the backtest. We're just checking to make sure that our input parameters make a change. So up here, you can see what the indicators are. So here you have a 10 period DEMA. It's hard to see maybe in the video, but it's 10 period DEMA. And here you have a DEMA that is a 20 period DEMA. Yes. I meant to say 10 and 30, but it says 10 and 20, so it's great. Okay, so, and then let's look for a 5% profit target. Here's a profit target, and it was a long entry at 4,200, and it exited at about 4,000. So yeah, it's about 200. So yeah, it's about 5%, not 10%. So yeah, it looks good. So 5% profit target, and our indicators are 10 and 20 instead of 8 and 21 like they were when we started. So we know that these input parameters are effectively changing the strategy. Let's go ahead and uncheck use profit target to make sure that that would turn off profit targets. Great. So now what we should see is nothing but reversals, no profit targets. Yeah, see, like reversal, all these are reversals. Yep, worked great. There are no profit targets, just reversals. Great. So we've just really tested our strategy, and it looks like everything's working. So let's go ahead and run a quick optimization. That's the other good thing about making things input parameters instead of hard-coded numbers in your Quagensia strategy is that you can optimize over these numbers, and you can even optimize over checkboxes. Let's try it. So optimization. For the fast period, let's optimize from, we'll make it so it won't take too long while this video is going. Let's make it from 8 to, I don't know, 16. Step 2. And from the slow period can be from 21 to 31. Step 2. For the use profit target, instead of true or false, let's say optimize. So half of the back tests we'll try false, and half will try true, and we'll see if it matters or not. We'll see which is better, profit target or no profit target. Okay, and then for the profit target percent, let's have a minimum of 2%, a max of 20%, and let's step, I don't know, 0.2. Let's step 2%. All right, let's run it. So it's going to do 600 optimizations. We're optimizing over 4 parameters, but look how fast it's going. Great. So I didn't speed this video up. It just did 600 backtests and between 2005 and 2023 on E-mini daily bars. So let's take a quick look at the optimization results. The best one was what I chose for the default parameters, and that was not by mistake. I actually determined that earlier, so I just use those as good defaults. And if we look at some other options, it looks like fast 8, slow 21, using a profit target at 6%, not 10%, was pretty close to the profit factor. And then it goes downhill from there. So this strategy is not very good as is, at least not on E-mini daily bars with 1 tick slippage. It's just an example that you can use to start with to build your own strategies. And the purpose of this video is not to create a great strategy that backtests well. It was to create a point-and-click NinjaTrader strategy in Quagensia N Edition to show you how it's done and to show you some of the features of Quagensia N Edition that you will use in your own Quagensia N Edition point-and-click strategies. That's the end of our video. Thanks for watching. If you liked it, please let us know by giving this video a like and subscribing to our channel. And if you loved it, please consider sharing this video. Have a great day.